Describe FaZe as a team. They've been teaming for a while. They've just got on real teamwork. They've got 4 Slayers as well that can just go off at any moment. They've been top for a while, so they're a tough matchup.
Splyce as a team is, the best European team right now, the only European representation here in the playoffs of the Global Pro League. I would just describe them as really talented, but also really weak-minded.
I feel like the matchup against FaZe would be 3-1. I feel like they'd take an S&D off us, but respawn-wise, I feel like my team's respawn is just better than theirs.
I think if the Splyce team really wants to succeed and they want to be a difference maker, they just all have to be really, really mentally strong and make sure they close out games.
Winners bracket final moments away. Here, of course, a look at our map set. Worth mentioning, we talked briefly about Zero, but on the flip side, Enable, Clay, Zuma, all having fantastic performances for FaZe. In terms of this map set, though, Merc, now you've seen it, are you still a European believer?
I am, and I'm going to tell you why. These first 2 maps, I really like FaZe in it. Now, Splyce is a great breakout hardpoint team, so don't, sort of count them out. But those back half, those last 3, I think just play into Splyce's hands.
I say ultimately we have a game 5 here. I say FaZe wins the first 2, Splyce wins the next 2, and then I'm going with FaZe game 5.
Yeah, for me, the decider is going to be game 2. I feel like if Splyce can win that retaliation S&D, it's most likely a 3-1 Splyce. I just don't feel FaZe can keep up in the speed of Splyce on that throwback uplink. I feel like that's going to be a swing, and then going into Scorch hardpoint, that's one of Splyce's stronger. We talked about that second hill for them. They're unstoppable on it.
Well, stage 1 playoffs really starting to heat up.
Ooh, baby!
Ship Sunday.
Ooh, baby!
We're excited in case you can't tell. Winners bracket final about to get underway. We can send it down to our casters for the series. It's Maven and Momo.
Fantastic stuff, gentlemen. And I'll tell you what, as much as this series is about Zero for me in a way, he comes in today with the highest KD ratio by a mile, really.
Oh, yeah.
It's a tale of 2 roads here. I mean, you think about Splyce's run, they have to go through Enigma 6 and EG, like an easier road, whereas FaZe at the top half of the bracket, it's been a fight tooth and nail to get here.
Yeah, they really have. Taking down Optic Gaming in round number 1, very, very difficult. They faced LG, and fair enough to FaZe, they have really turned up. A lot of their fans have been waiting for this opportunity. Optic Gaming now eliminated. Is this the championship that they take home after 19 months, or does Europe finally do it, or does neither? Is LG just waiting to take it all?
I'll tell you what, after watching LG, we had like 10 of us in the green room watching, and it was terrifying to see them win their on. They're playing like that. This is going to be an interesting Sunday. But I'll tell you what, I mean, I feel like the guy I want to start off with in this match is going to need to be Zero, just because he's been so darn good. My only question is, have they been tested yet? Like, is this their first real test of the weekend? Because you could argue that they so far have only beat who would be maybe your 7th and 8th team coming in if you broke it down.
Yeah, EG, E6, yes, they took down a United and vice versa, and it's that kind of COD triangle, if you like. However, FaZe, and this particular FaZe, they are in a different league right now. So for me, they have been tested, but to this caliber, it's going to be a very, very tough game for them. Is Zero going to come in the same day 1 and day 2? It's going to be very hard to tell, but he's on like a 1.4 or something right now.
Oh, yeah.
He's on fire.
I think 3rd overall KD is Mad Cat, so he's been a beast as well. But here we go. It is our top 2 in the winners bracket final, fighting to see who will get that spot in the grand final. Loser will be taking on Luminosity. We are kicking things off with Zero as he's going to be hitting in through showers.
Yeah, straight away, though. The gunfight's going down in the middle. It's going to favor FaZe. However, Splyce will be coming in, and Splyce being Zero from the showers loading bay area. He's going to be punished straight away, but no, turn, and Clayster will be shut down. Well, FaZe, they're the first on this hard point, and we saw on this hard point in particular, Maven, Luminosity, they absolutely drove home against opponent teams. We'll see how they can do it.
Well, let's watch Attach here for a bit, Momo, as he's trying to line one up at the stairwell. The spawn control for Cell Block right now in Splyce's hands, trying to check the wall run with Attachment. Back here to loading, it's Clayster. And Clay, it's going to be interesting because he has been either, I want to say almost average in a map, to complete God when he starts to get it going. But you see Attach starting out 4-0, a 2-piece there, with the key rotation now coming in. He's going to have to try to fight into Cell Block.
Yeah, nice 30-point lead here for FaZe. Splyce will have that rotation, but FaZe, they're bundling up here together at the top. They're all going in on Mad Cat right now, and he will fall to Enable. This is where FaZe have been so good over the weekend. They've been pushing as a team and trading out as a team, and that's something Splyce equally have been very, very good. But now FaZe pushing in. They're going to actually take control of the cell blocks just like that.
Yeah, they bust through. Zuma gets a nice 2-piece, and he's been fantastic, starting to get back to form. We expect him to be in. Finds another kill with the Scarab. Attached still in his as well. as he's looking outside of cell block. Jerd trying to sneak in. He's tagged up from his left. It's going to be a 5 streak now for Zuma. Make it 6th, 7th in front. Not able to shut it down and falls just a little bit short of those streaks.
Attach has not died to this time at this moment. 5-0 right now. Zuma, he's been putting on an MVP-like performance throughout the whole tournament, throughout the whole weekend. And so far, so good for FaZe. This is a great start. And even looking to the rotation, I'm looking at Grave right now. It's a 2-2, maybe a 2-3 in favor of Splyce.
Well, we'll stick with Attach for the time being just because he has not dropped yet. He's going to rotate out as he gets the final couple of ticks. Splyce will be set up in the next hard point. Attach's job, wrap around this hangar side and develop the pinch with his teammates from Stairwell and that Snow Street. But his 2 players drop for him. He's going to have to wait for the spawners to come up, try to make a play.
This is really smart from Attach. You know, he's 5-0, he's thinking about his streaks, and he's also thinking about breaking this hill. He needs his teammates to back up from that pinch.
Look at all the arrows. Look at all the arrows. They're all facing the other direction. This should be easy pickings as he gets in behind, but the timing couldn't have been worse. As soon as he goes to soar out, they snap back. I thought he was going to have a couple easy ones, but they had just kind of pushed behind Dozer, pushed there into caves. A little bit of an unfortunate play for Attach.
Yeah, and I think Splyce almost got the timing there in their favor. They were cleaning up the next 20 seconds as well, uncontested. That's going to put them almost on par with FaZe right now. The commissary, though, that can be a bit of a money hill. We've seen that time and time again. And moving over towards it, there is only one player going up against them. It is Zero. He's going down at the back. Clayster getting the better once again. 7-5, 2-kill streak for him.
I had conversations with Zero and Clay coming into this, and it was very different conversations in the sense where I talked to Zero. I was just, how you feeling about the series, you know, maps? And he said, you know, I think the maps are pretty good for us. We're going to play our game. We're feeling strong. It was a really quick, brief conversation.
Okay.
I talked to Clay, though, and it was like, there's a lot of pressure on us in the first couple maps because Breakout's their best hard point. When you go to Retaliation, it's one of their stronger search to destroys. From there, it kind of falls apart. The later you get in the series, kind of like they were mentioning on the desk, it gets harder and harder for FaZe Clan in this. So this map is absolutely crucial for them, and so far, so good. Clayster streak continuing at 4. Attaches on a bit of a streak as well. Let's get to Clay. 5 in a row, 125. And you see he's got the greedy on there, the Warden packed and loaded.
I tell you what, a 5-kill streak. I don't blame him right now. And you know what? He's doubling Splyce's points on the first rotation. We're going to be going over to that central rooftop ever so shortly. But, you know, FaZe, they're going to reach around 140 here going into this next one. And you know what? This is troubling times for Splyce. They are going to answer back for now, but they need to gather some momentum.
And that was unfortunate on the other side. Clay, you know, on that streak, he actually gets team killed by Zuma. Not what you want to happen when you're so close to picking up that Trinity rocket. But like you said, the lead continuing here for FaZe. Zuma playing sneaky underneath, should be able to pounce here in a moment. Nice play. Fortunate for him as he gets on Jerd, snaps onto the second up top. Gonna lose that gunfight to Bance, but his teammates looking over him. The assist comes through. Attach, enable Clay. All on the kill feed. FaZe has top mid locked down.
Oh, this weekend Zuma has been on fire. 13 kills to his name, and I say this, you look at Splyce, you look at kind of the difference in kills to death there. This isn't the Splyce that we've been seeing. They are being tested right now, certainly not out of it. Breakout and map notorious for these comebacks and notoriously for high different games. But Attach is on the hill right now. He's getting some time for his team and only 3 deaths to his name. He's really putting in that performance right now.
Jeez, the kill feed just seems to be all red here, Momo. And you know, we talked a lot. It's been, you know, since the beginning of the year, it kind of became a meme to a degree. Just the fact that, you know, EU, we talked about them struggling on breakout hardpoint just from the get-go. But this team in particular, Splyce really hasn't struggled that much. They've been much better than the roster they had to begin the year. Unfortunately for them, FaZe has just been brilliant. You can see it in the scoreline, up 100 points as Jerd falls off the map. Easy pickings for Attach to finish up 0.
Yeah, you look at the mini-map as well, and you see Splyce all over the place. You see Jerd going around the middle, loading bay. You've got Mad Cat trying to flank around. These one-on-one gunfights, they may trade out 50-50, but at this time, Enable sat in this hard point, getting every single point, and this is such a one-sided game. FaZe Clan are turning up right now. Trinity Rockets coming in, not equaling anything. However, look at those points. Splyce have not entered this cell block until this time.
And this is where it starts to get scary, too. I mean, they had a game yesterday, I believe, Breakout, where 4 different players on their team had streaks. I was talking to Clay, he was joking around. He's like, I think we called in 10 streaks over the course of that game. As Enable now, 7 in a row, that 8th is going to challenge. Finally will fall, but as you continue to build the streaks, it just snowballs and snowballs until it gets out of control. To be fair, it's already getting out of control. 205 to 77, FaZe Clan having their way with their European counterparts in Splyce.
Absolutely. You look over to the next rotation. Graveyard, it's saw FaZe once again. They've just got about 50 points there down in the cell block, and now they've got full control of Grave. For me, there needs to be some miracle for Splyce right now. We're going to see payloads coming in for Clayster shortly as well, but all 4 players are firing up for FaZe here in map 1.
It's interesting to talk about sort of the preparation maybe coming into this to one degree. Like, I saw the first people I saw here were Octane and Slack warming up, getting ready. Zero was sort of chilling with us, watching the matches for hour and a half, so taking it a little bit more leisurely. They're going to have to turn it up, though, as this game should be over very shortly if FaZe Clan can just close out these final couple of hard points.
And this isn't just a map win for FaZe if this goes the distance here. This is making a statement going into the Search and Destroy and saying, look, Splyce, yes, you've dominated EG, you've dominated Enigma 6, but we're FaZe Clan. You know, we're coming here and we're taking this. We beat Optic, we'll beat you as well.
Well, I think exactly. It's like, this is the first time they've been punched in the mouth, right? Where a team comes out, tries to knock them out. How are they going to rebound? Because they haven't had to this weekend. They haven't had to, and some teams don't respond well to getting crushed. It was impressive after LG lost that Search and Destroy. I couldn't believe how well they were able to bounce back in the uplink and hardpoint, but some teams do not muster that up. I'll tell you what, you need 5 ticks. It's Zuma inside trying to snap there with the ERAD. The final moment is in, and FaZe Clan takes the advantage with a 1-0 map count.
And that's not what you want if you're a Splyce fan. You don't want Clayster standing up and telling you to get out. He is hyped. And I tell you what, Zero, you go into this with a 1.4, you end this map with what, a 0.65, 0.7, something like that?
Well, I was talking to Clay last night about how streaky he can be, and I don't know if you follow the NBA, but I compared him to like a J.R. Smith in a way. Like, it's like he either is like 7 for 7 from the 3-point line, or he's bricking everything. Like, when he gets going, when he gets in that zone, he's just like we saw Octane in the last series. It seems like he doesn't miss a bullet. He's completely destroying. And as much as some may disagree, it's behind that hype, man. As soon as he gets that confidence going, that energy going, he becomes a different player. Scary that starts early in map 1. Where a lot of series, we saw it not start till maps 3 or 4.
Yeah. That's a really dangerous thing, and that's what I think you need on every team. You know, whether it's a Clayster, I think the likes of Study is a big hype man, but when you mix someone who's, you know, going off in-game and out-game, it's so dangerous. It's like having that 5th man on your squad. You know, it's having that kind of crazy player in your ear, just shouting how well you're doing, just praising you, and it gives you that almost, you know, undefeatable confidence. And as a player, when Zuma's kind of going off and he's got, you know, a veteran of Clayster next to him, just telling him, just gun them, go for it, that is going to be everything FaZe right now. And Splyce, they look a different team this morning. FaZe Clan, though, they have that championship. They have that championship on their mind, and that's all they want. They want to go home. For the fans, for the people at home that have stayed loyal to them, they've stayed loyal to themselves. It's been so long, man.
And this next map is scary because, you know, we talked about FaZe. It's one of their, not their best, but one of their stronger searches. And when you look at, I know it's been a long time since week 1, but Splyce lost in around 11 to Mindfreak and around 11 to Envy, I believe, on this particular map. So they go 0-2. They're very back and forth matches. And I know, again, it's been a month and a half since then, but still, same roster. And this I find this matchup very interesting from a lot of points. Like, if you look at a lot of the different matchups, like if FaZe were to play E-United, Optic, Luminosity, like they've matched up you throughout the course of the year. This is the first time we're seeing these full rosters together. Obviously, before Zero was there and Josh was in, it happened. But with Zero on the squad, they haven't matched up. And this is awesome to see it happen this deep in the tournament, right?
Yeah, and so far from what we've seen, only it is one map. FaZe continue to dominate over Splyce. We saw it, you know, at ESWC. We saw it at Vegas. We saw Dallas. And right now, this is the team where we go, yeah, this is the Splyce that can take down FaZe, but it needs to start here. Merc actually said on the dash, you know, these first 2, they favor FaZe, absolutely. My worry is, you know, typical European fashion. You know, you go 1-0 down, 2-0 down, is that where you start to crumble? Whether the map 3, 4, and 5 do favor you, is it just too late there? Have you kind of, you know, lost or given the likes of Clayster too much hype?
Yeah, I mean, I saw some funny comments earlier on Twitter just from fans of Splyce, like European COD fans. They're like, they're making predictions, and someone mentioned somebody's like, oh, Splyce will go up 2-0, then they'll lose 3-2, because it's like they don't expect success, and that's just I mean, that's a factor of how things have been going for European COD, at least throughout stage 1. But Splyce, man, they have got to make a stand right now. We'll be curious to see how the Search and Destroy goes, where, you know, up before this event, Zero had been their camo player, and I know thinking back to Dallas, he was carrying them in Search and Destroy, sometimes picking up, you know, 1, 2 camos, camos as early as round 3. They've swapped now with him running reactive armor. I'm wanting to see if he's going to be as impactful in Search and Destroy.
Yeah, it will be it'll be interesting to see, to say the least. Splyce actually played this map yesterday. I think it was against E6. It was a bit shaky. They did win it. I think it was actually map 5 versus E6. But, you know, they showed that there is problems within retail S&D. One player, and I was just going to touch on Jerd, as you see him there on your screens, he can be a bit too over-aggressive. Sometimes it pays off. You know, one round he gets a two-piece, the other he just gets first blood, and it's like, oh, now you are in a really tough position. Teams like FaZe will punish you hard for that.
Well, I think it's something that I critique FaZe on sometimes, and I think Zuma falls victim to that, where he's just playing faster than the rest of the team at times as well. And it's either it blesses you, right? You get that first blood, you look pretty, or you die and there's no one within a mile to get the trade. I thought the pairing of Itachi to Zuma worked really well together. They seem to be playing at the same tempo. Let's see if they can continue to do it here. If you're just joining us, FaZe destroys Splyce in game 1. 100-point club them there on breakout. Splyce, the European team, the lone one here for the Stage 1 playoffs, desperately trying to bounce back.
Clay has been European's kryptonite for a long, long time. But Splyce, the likes of Zero, he's confident going into this one, and you know he doesn't believe about all that kind of stuff in the past. It's about the present. But on the attack first is Splyce.
That's a good point, though. It's like how many times last year did the top European team run into Clay and FaZe in the losers bracket or on winners bracket, whatever it was, in some of those open tournaments and get knocked out. Certainly some history for them there, but Bance is going to open things up with the first blood. We're going to check on Mad Cat coming into today. He was 3rd overall in KD with a 1.17. He's been playing fantastic all weekend as he's playing a sneaky spot here under the terrace.
Yeah, this is pretty standard Splyce from what I understand. They're trying to get that first pick and they're trying to make the first move. They will, the bomb will go down. And now this is sometimes where Splyce can get pinned in. Sometimes they just cluster around this garage and they let the surrounding or the opposing team surround them. We'll have to see if they do that.
And on the other side for FaZe, Nable's been very, very good in Surge. He had, what, 13-4 game yesterday? I can't remember if that was day 1 or day 2, but he has been a monster. Clay, though, finds a snipe. It's traded back immediately as Jerd takes down Nable. Clay trying to get 4 with the pistol. Mad Cat's been sitting there in the entire round. Now it's going to be all unattached. 20 seconds remaining. Has to find 3 kills and the defuse as he wraps back. Splyce ready and waiting. That's a good way to rebound. You know, you got crushed. You get 1 round on the board. Take deep breaths. Keep it going.
Looked like Itachi was almost saying, you know what, I'm going to jump off the map here, I'm out of here. But not for Mad Cat. He was pinning him in and taking that round. I am got a question. I'm not sure about Clay's play with a sniper. He does it on the likes of Crusher. It looks like he's pulling out on this. He did pick up 1 kill, but instantly traded. When he had that pistol, he was basically useless.
Well, soaring mids like that.
Yeah.
If he would have won that gunfight against Mad Cat with a pistol, Mad Cat would have had to delete the profile, shut off the PlayStation 4, and
so
try to regroup.
He has changed. He has changed back to an MV4. But we've got Jerd. This is what I mean about the over-aggression from Jerd. He's going to find 1. Can it be the double? He's going to see him, but it's traded out straight away from Clayster. Quick reactions.
Yeah.
That could have been a game-changer.
Well, that's real clutch from Clay, because I thought that was a free 2-piece there. I know it's not always easy to snap to the second player, but Clay getting the headshot there as he's able to quickly react. And now as Enable picks up a kill, it's going to be a 3v2 advantage for FaZe. Under 60 seconds to go here in round 2, and they are all grouped up around Bike.
One thing that Splyce does have going for them is they're pinned in a little bit, but they're going to be called out. Mad Cat's going to take and give the fire. But now 1 versus 2, that's coming in from Zero against Zuma and Clayster. He's actually going to back off here, Maven. 40 seconds left on the clock.
All right, we're going to play around the plant. Let's see if he tries to reposition us, take it from Market Steps. Looking over the top, he did get vision on 1. Oh, it says Zuma, you cannot give him a free kill there and make this a 1-on-1. Bomb planted now. He's going to have to try and work it. He's got a lot of time to play with. Question is, what route does he try to operate from?
Zero really needs to make himself into 2 1v1s rather than challenge together. Zuma, though, he has his number, and he's taking control of the bedroom. Another round there for FaZe. And to me, that round goes down to that clutch play from Clayster, snapping onto Jerd like that. I honestly thought he had a 2-piece.
Yeah, no, I did too. But I do like the play at the end there by Zuma. You have an ERAD, you know you're going up against an NV4. There's only 2 paths you can hit, right? Those Market Steps or in through back bedroom. You're going to win that gunfight, unless you just get completely snapped on by Zero. That is one you should take. But now tied up at 1-1. Jerd Mad Cat with a pair of kills, and the other side, Clay and Enable leading the way.
Okay, fast pace from FaZe, it looks like through the middle, but once again, Bance with the first blood, that's 2 times. Jerd as well in the middle. Jerd looks like he's going to be traded out shortly after, and he is. That's all around the bar. Mad Cat as well. That is fantastic stuff from FaZe, but now it's a 1v2 for Clayster.
1v2 for Clay. I believe he was spotted, and there he is going to get dropped. Splyce again on the board. This is, I don't want to say it's a must-win map because we know it starts to tilt towards Splyce a little bit. I still feel like in a way it's kind of a must-win for FaZe. I know it sounds crazy when they're up 1-0, but if Clayster felt strongly they need to win the first 2 games to take this series.
I think it's a must-win for Splyce as well. It's kind of,
yeah, right.
There's so many different ways of looking at this. You know, Splyce going 2-0 down. You know, if Clayster gets super hyped again, that could be very hard to come back with another 2 respawns, of course. But we're in the S&D, we're in round number 4, and FaZe are back on the attack here. Enable, he's looking top bedroom, but it's aggressive from Splyce.
Yeah, you get a peek. I think Bance tried to find another first blood into Bike, but now they're pushing forward. Zuma here, if he knew what's around this edge, able to win the first one and back away. A teammate here to look over him. Nice job getting behind the stack. Grenade coming in, dodges that, looking to win the second gunfight. He's coming at you, Jerd. 2 kills now for Zuma. He's getting tagged up from Market Steps, but attached there to look over him. Mad Cat, the lone cat.
1v3, difficult stuff. Zuma performing well there in the garage. A little bit lucky with the timing, but it perfectly suits FaZe right now. They should be tied up 2-2. Mad Cat sees the bomb going down, and it will get put down. And there he is. He's shortly followed. And I believe that was Clayster. 2-2 now in the search and destroy. This doesn't surprise me. We could be seeing around 10 or 11 very, very easily.
Yeah, just back and forth thus far. Nice shots by Clay to bounce up after the bomb. Line him up inside a bedroom. All right, see a shot of Clay leading the crew, the vocal leader for this team. I'll tell you what, so much hinges on how he plays the rest of Championship Sunday. They need him to continue the form he's been on.
So far, so good for him, but a little bit different here. FaZe have kind of split up, but they have pushed into garage. Splyce maybe a little bit more hesitant, but Enable just looking out for that player running into bar. This is where Jerd usually is, so a smart play for him. Zuma spotted him. Oh no!
Oh, lordy.
He banged his head on the garage door.
And that's when we just saw Zuma pick up kills in that same spot. This time, a little bit of an awkward gunfight ends up punishing him, but look who's in behind. Attached, 1, looking for the second, tagged up but not dead. The grenade, it's a hit the car right in front, and he FTLs out. 3rd, looking for the melee, tries to step behind, but can't close it out. Suddenly, it's Enable left by himself in a 1 versus 2. Make it 1v1. He's right behind you, he stops and picks it up.
Fantastic stuff by Enable there as well. His teammates fall down. It doesn't matter for Enable. He knew where both the players were. And just the way that he positioned himself behind that ticket booth there really gave him that advantage as well. Wow, especially after the way Zuma got taken down by there. The FTL by attacks, though, fancy stuff.
Just to stay alive, you get those 2 kills. Extending that time just to focus on him helps Enable make that play in the end. Fantastic clutch, and now FaZe back in front, but God, some hectic series or rounds thus far. Let's see what Zero and crew can do to rebound.
Okay, this looks a little bit like what LG were doing, just kind of pushing round as a back foot. Cars do explode, Zero.
This is back-to-back of kills for Attach that come with the explosion of a car. That's his bread and butter.
There is one player lurking right behind his Clayster, and you know what? With laser-like accuracy with the MV4, that's going to be difficult to beat. Clayster's looking for another, and I'll tell you what, he's not even backing down. He's 2. Don't do it. Don't do it, Clay. The grenade, that could tag him up and finish him. We've got another one going down by the car. Clay's doing everything right now. It's all up to Mad Cat. And just like that, it gets taken out. You see Clay getting hyped.
He almost just beamed the player there at the railing. I mean, it was a 2v1 here for Clay until Zuma comes to assist, finally gets there. But Clay, brilliant job putting in damage. He got one shot, half health in another. Does a great job staying alive, plays the bait perfectly. Fantastic S&D gameplay from FaZe, and specifically Clayster there.
Yeah, Clayster, he was all alone. A lot of people crumble or get nervous or panic there. But the way he positioned himself once again, just left and right, biding his time, very, very strong.
I think Clayster used his overdrive to try and get into a quick position. He's all the way on the other side of the map. It's going to be Zuma having to deal with pressure in bike path. Jerd has already taken out a Taster. Down a man, both soar in. Good job. You know he's in the corner. 2 players take him out. Not going to be a 2-piece coming in for Zuma. And now Enable and Clay have to try and clutch up in this 2v4.
Yeah, this should be a Splyce round. The bomb is going down. They're planning it for that top market. However, you say that, Clayster's still alive and anything is possible. And Enable's been on form as well. 2v4.
You just can't give a free kill if you're Splyce. You know, we talked to the guys on Hot Mic about these scenarios. You know, if it gets down to 1v4, it's usually on that second guy. First one spots, second can't get picked out. But here, at least Clay has a buddy to work with in Enable. He's got 1 on either side. Pinching forward, saw him for just a second. Help should be coming over the top. He should get tagged up in just a moment. There's Enable dropping. Clay's going to say, see you later.
Yeah, and well played from Splyce there. It all comes down to the positioning.
They get him. They get him.
I like it. You know, you get the extra kill going towards your payload, but the one thing that I will say about that is it all came down to where you planted the bomb. For you guys at home as well, the reason that they didn't need to push down and check it was they had the line of sight. That was everything for them.
And I believe that was Vance that got that final kill. So he's your camo player. So that could end up being crucial. But I don't know if it counted there as we're looking at the round-ending kill cam.
Okay, well, we'll see going into the next round and see how far away he is. He's a slither away there. He's also 200 away from the Scarab. So let's keep our eyes on Bance as he, again, is very, very aggressive. But Splyce, completely different approach. Last round on defense, they pushed all out to the bridge. This time, it's almost like a four-man defense split up from left to right.
All right, well, back on with Jordan, playing a nice passive defense here thus far. You have Bance just a kill away from picking up that camo to work with. Zero, not really close to getting the reactive armor at this point. Passive from both sides, God.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking a lot of money on the line. Top 3 here. Winner will secure that top 2 position. And of course, that position to go for the grand final. $200,000.
I think the biggest thing, if you need to get a plant for Enable here, and there's a couple players in the back, but he really needs to get these points towards the active camo. A kill would also be brilliant, but he's tagged up and gone. That's Bance too. So Bance gets his camo. You take Enable out first, so he's not going to be able to work towards his. Splyce in a great position to come back in this. I know they're still trailing by a round. Placer, they're trying to get behind a couple, can't finish either. It's Bance again coming up clutch. 2 players left in Attach and Zuma. Attach has the bomb, but you've got no time to work with. Certainly, you can't clutch this up. They're just going to be flying for kills, it seems.
Yeah, Jerd's got his FTL, not game-changing. However, Attach flanking round behind. That's 1 of 4. Now a 2v3. This is doable. Zuma finds another, and now a 2v2.
Not enough time.
3 seconds left. Yeah. Not going to happen as long as they play smart. And there you have it. Splyce pick up a round, 4-4.
I think the other was in Hotel. I was going to say, if he somehow lasers him over the top and the other finds it in Hotel, that would have been an incredible, incredible throw. But no, Splyce play it well. They're able to stay alive and round out the time. So remember, Bance gets his camo, and Enable still has a bit to go here to pick it up.
Really shows the pacing of the game there. When was the last time we saw a round just go down to time?
Yeah.
Not very often at all, but it's all square here. Bance has camo. Jerd has FTL. Jerd, the man of the moment. Again, he's aggressive, and sometimes it does pay off.
They had a 4-man stack for FaZe inside. Somehow Jerd the one getting the kill. Matcat can answer as well. Now you're behind another player. This is falling apart quickly. Enable, lone man, he's in bike. He's like, fellas, where'd you go?
I'll tell you what, Matcat's just got his payload as well. FTL.
He's got camo. He's got camo.
Uh-oh. This is a 1v4. Enable in the garage. He's pinned in. They know he's pinned in, but do they challenge? If he gets the kill, he pops the camo.
Not able to do it. They luck out. And that, I just talked about it. 1v4, it's the second guy. He gets spotted. The second player challenges in a way that you shouldn't. Gives Enable a freebie. Thankfully, they close that out because, oh, God, with camo there, that is scary stuff.
I do like that from Bance and Zero. They knew he's in there. They both push in either direction. The problem is if he makes 1 kill, he has that camo. I thought they were going to get like a camo v camo.
Well, no, honestly, if he found that first kill on Zero, that's exactly probably what would have happened. Both guys would have ended up popping it. But now Splyce, from down a couple of rounds to right back into it.
Payloads galore for Splyce. Mad Catz has used his, that's Centurion, and that's going to be going down over at A. It looks like they're playing the slow game again. We've got a Scarab in the hands of Bance. And camo to back it up. 8-4 for him at the moment, but 1 minute and 10 seconds on the line. I'm looking at your mini-map there. FaZe, they're all the way over to the garage. This is going to give a lot of intel towards Splyce.
Yeah, they're just using these to scout, and then you can play a slow retake if you need to. You have that camo on Bance, and that looks to be the plan, as they're playing very, very passive here. And they know they can rely on Bance to make a play. He's just making sure he's not going to be the first one to get picked. He has to be in a spot to go ahead and clutch up when this bomb gets planted.
Attach, making the first move. Tell you what, he's going to avoid the Centurion, so that's something that they won't be able to engage. However, Splyce, they're pushing through the middle. They're all clustered up a little bit, but camo has been used. This is from Bance.
They cross each other's paths. Bance not going to get much out of it, but he is able to at least flank behind one, loses him for a second, but there's the kill. 3v2. Splyce with the edge right now to close this out. Should win another. 1 player left. It's Zuma here in a 1 versus 3 with only 10 seconds. Bomb hasn't been planted. He has to go ahead and try, and there you go. Splyce win the search. They bring it back to 1-1. And now we've got ourselves a series because your 2 stronger maps for FaZe. Splyce is able to get the split.
Do you know what? I think patience in Call of Duty is a very, very strong talent to have. Watching him use that camo and just kind of walk away, go into garage, play the time, that got me very, very nervous. But Bance had it all in his head. He planned to go around garage, get the flank. It may not have worked, don't get me wrong. but he had that patience. The callouts was obviously flowing there. But Splyce closing that out, that's huge for them.
It really, really is. Splyce has brought it back, tied it up at 1-1. It's Uplink coming up next. Who's going to take it? We'll find out after this quick break. Well, welcome back. It's almost time for the uplink, but before that, let's take a look at your G Fuel key player matchup. It's Attach, headed up against Jerd. What are your thoughts, Momo?
First things first, we're going into uplink. This is kind of Splyce's territory. However, FaZe has been on fire all weekend long. These are two players that I will be keeping my eye on, not just for their objective, but their aggressive SMG.
Let's see who gets the better of it here. Will it be Attach or Jerd going into the uplink? We'll find out, but that is your G Fuel key player matchup.
Like, are those other things that they spin around? And, what do they do? You just press it and they just spin or something?
I have actually never seen a fidget spinner in real life.
It seems to entertain people quite a bit just from something spinning around on their finger.
Fidget spinners should not be a thing.
I thought it was actually really cool when the first time I saw it, and then like 2 days later it was like all over Twitter as a meme, and I was like, oh, that's ruined.
I don't really understand why it's become so big. They're just things you spin.
I mean, I'm someone who like always needs to be doing something with their hands, but honestly don't see the big deal with those things. I tried it once, and I don't know, it was like a little Beyblade or something. I just didn't really care for it.
I have way better things to do than playing with a fidget spinner.
So I don't get it. I've never even seen it in real life. I've never used it, but I don't even know like what it's for.
So I think fidget spinners are cool. A bunch of like adults and like older people are like, yeah, kids need to get off of their phones, stop looking at their screens. And then when a physical object comes around that kids can actually play with and like take their mind off things, people seem to hate on it for some reason. I'm all for the craze. It's whatever. I like them.
Fidget spinners are lame.
I think it's a very stupid concept. I haven't tried it, so I don't want to judge a book by its cover, but it just seems like it doesn't really serve a purpose.
I haven't really bought one or seen or know anyone that has one, but they look pretty cool.
I hope it dies. I hope the fad dies quick.
I'm going to be 100% honest, Momo. I have no damn idea what a fidget spinner is.
I know what one is, but the one thing I like about that was Clayster was the only person like trying to logically think about how it can be used and, you know, get off your phones, use it, you know, it's a physical object. You know, he's thinking about everything. You know, he's always thinking ahead of the game, and that's Clayster for you. But yeah, I've never used one either.
Well, we're coming off a Splyce victory in the Search and Destroy, one in which, honestly, I think they had eight first bloods compared to FaZe's, if I got that correct. So I'm surprised it was actually so close. You know, Bance was picking up first blood left and right, but it comes down to the wire. Now, going into uplink, the reason we talk so much about the games 1 and 2 for FaZe, how important they were, is we're going back to throwback, which was kind of ugly for the side of FaZe. If I remember correctly, they lost 3 times on the map going back to their week. They lost to EG, and they lost, oh, I'm sorry. It was Fnatic and EG that smashed them. They got obliterated. It was something like 12-0.
Yeah.
I think the Fnatic to start off the week.
I remember it, and it was just so uncharacteristic of FaZe and not what I thought of the squad. Thinking about Throwback and Uplink, Uplink has always been a great game mode for Splyce. Throwback I wouldn't say is the best map, but they are very, very strong at it. I do lean towards Splyce on this one. But I think FaZe, I'm hoping that, you know, between the last time we saw them and now, they've got a lot better at a lot better Uplink as Madcat's water bottle falls over there.
That's why I may have sounded crazy saying I thought the Search was a must-win for FaZe when they're leading in the series, but I have this feeling that Splyce is going to just demolish them here. I really, really do. Splyce is a very solid uplink team, and this has been a poor one for FaZe. But if day one taught me anything, this weekend taught me anything. At times, you can throw stats out the window, specifically when we're talking about stage 1. You played 3 teams in that week. It's a whole different beast here when you have the top 8 teams in the world, buddy.
Yeah, it really is, and now we're down to the top 3 right now. Splyce, FaZe, and in that loser bracket, LG are waiting for the loser, but the winner of this solidifies themselves a spot in that grand final. Throwback Uplink coming up next. I'm leaning towards Splyce, but then you look over at FaZe and Zuma's putting an MVP performance in. Clayster's have been on fire all weekend long. You know what? I'm looking at maybe, Attach for this one, like we saw in the key play matchup.
It's true, yeah. Let's check him out. I'll tell you what, man, the more I think about this series, the more I'm getting nervous for FaZe. The final S&D is their worst S&D. They're in their worst uplink right now. They've got to defy the statistics if they're going to take this series. Opening kills, both coming in for Splyce. Nice start for them. Enable just got decimated.
Nice Splyce starting things off there. 4 down for FaZe. Attaches the 5th as well off respawn. Zero should put this in for a 2. We will have the backup as well.
Wow.
We said it could be destructive. And you know what? Splyce, they're looking hot here on Uplink.
No, they're incredible at Uplink, and you're seeing why. What they pick up the first 5 kills, just storm in and score the opening 30 seconds. What incredible starts. Just like FaZe kind of punched them in the face to begin that map 1, looks like Splyce wants to give them some of their own medicine to kick off game 3.
Yeah, I want to talk about Splyce just for a second. A lot of the pros, the analysts, everyone has been saying, why are Splyce so good? And it is that SMG, that you can use the ERAD at any time, but Jerd plays at such a fast pace, but now finally in Europe, he's got someone that can play alongside him at the same pace. Bance can just use any gun at any time. It gives Zero a lot of freedom, and Madcat, he's been doing everything. He's just hop, skipping, and jumping.
He relied on his teammates, just kept going forward, and there's a 1-point toss. He saw a player to his left, a player to his right, just kept on running forward. And, we talked about the frustrations of FaZe Clan on this map. You're seeing it so far. It's dysfunctional. They don't really seem to be playing together. Haven't really picked up any string of kills to apply pressure to Splyce. Whereas Mad just seems slow and methodical. Zero and crew looking brilliant so far, buddy.
So far, so good. Only a minute and a half in, and FaZe maybe have had a slow start, but they're on the attack. You can see that coming in for a 1-point play, but Zero, in typical Zero fashion, intercepts once again. It's actually nice to see it from his point of view. Thanks, Aches.
That was nuts, man. That worked out. He was trying to toss it out. Now it ends up being in his favor as he's got the drone. There's the beatdown. They've got mid-map control. They're pushing up towards Silo. It's Bance leading the way with a K-bar kill onto Zuma. Here we go. Off to the races again. Jerd in front. Toss over the top. A little bit short, but there's still a pressure here. They're coming to the back. Should be able to find the kills. We'll likely see a dunk. There it is. 5-0.
My goodness, I tell you what, it wasn't intentional for anyone at home there. That was a 1-point play, but it turned to 2. Bance, he's on a 6-kill streak right now. He's 150 away from the Trinity Rocket, make it 50. 1 kill away, he could be looking at a bombardment. We said it could be scary. Attach just stops that for now, but that drone is in lethal range once again for Splyce.
Well, if you're a FaZe fan, if you were frustrated with how I said I thought Splyce would demolish them here, I think you're seeing in the opening 2.5 minutes why we felt that way. Splyce, man, looking so good. 0, 9, and 3. He's got a couple of dunks to work with and beaming with the NV4 at mid-track. Second lined up as well, not missing a bullet as he just rampages across the map. Players from FaZe coming off a spawn. Yep, attach your mind too. One more player here, just barely loses that to Enable.
And now we're seeing that 0 from day 1 and 2. 12 and 4, he kicked things off right now. He's having a fun time here on throwback, and we do see on the outskirts there, Zuma getting back into it with the kill onto Madcat. And for me, FaZe need to do something in the next 90 seconds. They need some kind of points on the board going into the half. Splyce, you know, they're confident right now and they're playing in their essence.
Well, you got to think about it, man. If Fnatic can beat FaZe, I think it was 12-0.
Yep.
What can Splyce do to them? With how I think we all agree that Splyce is a far superior team to Fnatic. I mean, Fnatic has shown flashes of brilliance, but God, this is scary early.
Yeah, it really is. And Judd on your screens, that's using the K-bar there for a second. Surprises me at this point in time, but 60 seconds. And for me, it just looked like the bleeding had stopped for FaZe. They seem to have just controlled it a little bit, started to get a few kills on the board. And this is what you want to see as a FaZe fan, just to regain that control.
And we haven't even talked about, I forgot that Scorch is our 4th map. That is also FaZe's worst hardpoint and Splyce's best, man. And again, 0 on defense with the pick. So I think literally if you look through their stage matches, 3, 4, and 5, worst maps for FaZe, best for Splyce. Oh, this is going to be such a tough test, but here we go. 0 with drone in hand yet again.
I've been watching 0 now for the top flight of European Call of Duty for 2 years, and he just intercepts so many drones. How many points he saved his team, I'm not too sure, but he's 13 and 6 right now. He's trying to do a bit of objective work as well, but his teammates have gone down around him, and he's leaving it up to Bance. Bance in the middle, trades things out one-on-one, but with 25 seconds, it looks like he's just trying to stall them right now, Maven.
Yeah, I mean, play the time. There's no pressure on you to put points on the board. Just make sure you play keep away from FaZe Clan. Don't want it to get any more points here. You gotta think about it, like, you would consider this kind of the weaker side for Splyce, and they still 6-0 them. So when we go to the second half, I mean, this might be even more of a terrifying advantage.
Yeah, Zero's picking up a nice double as well. The drone as well, my goodness. God. The guy is on fire, 16 and 7. Is that FTL or did that kind of skip my mind?
I'm sorry, but that was an NB4 versus an ERAD at a foot away. I mean, I know we saw Octane with a crazy play yesterday like that, but yeah. 0, we hear him screaming, "Oh my God!" in the background. He's on another level. And if the question was he going to be able to stand up against FaZe this first test? I think we can widely say, yes, he is.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're in, a very strong game mode of theirs, and something that FaZe has looked pretty poor on. FaZe have been fantastic at their hard points. Their search and destroys have been great as well, but this map and mode doesn't work well for them, and it is showing. Splyce, they're looking on top of the game right now. Bance is 15 and 9 again, still rocking that ERAD. And it's good to see the versatility. Will spot one. Not going to pick him up, though.
Wow. Attach just saved his life, at least for a moment. But Madcat there, able to trade it out. And I like those type of plays, though. I remember watching Enigma 6 versus Optic, and that's what punished them on this map. Sitting in those sneaky corners with a team that likes to play fast and aggressive, you can get easy, 1 kill, 2 kills as players just fly on by. Patience. You saw it pay off in the S&D for Splyce. It can pay off here as well.
Okay, so it's Hatch and Zuma.
3 down. 3 down. This is your best chance. You need to turn this into points. Zuma's going to be flying in the back, Momo. You got a couple players in Barn. They're spawning out at Silo. The pressure not going to come in. This has to be a dunk. You need it desperately, and they shut it down. So far, closing it home. German the first kill. Madcat and Bance involved as well. There's only 1 player remaining, and he's gone. The defense again for Splyce, too strong.
That needs to be a point. That needs to be converted, and Splyce, I don't even know how they did it. That was brute force just getting back into their own base. Jordan 0 trading out 2-2. 1 player with the drone is Bance, but he's going to be all alone. This shouldn't be points. And wisely, he's going to put that out of bounds. It will be reset, and actually, FaZe kind of have control of the middle. FaZe need to start something. You know, they're getting the kills. We see Clayster neutral, you know, attach, Zoomer, enable, slightly negative, but that doesn't mean they should be getting 6-0'd like this.
Yeah, well, the scary part, I think, is, you're right, it's 10 to 15 kills they're outside by, which is significant, but they haven't had any offensive opportunities. Like, you can count the last one, and then one other I can think the rest of the time. I mean, Zero's had the drone in his hand longer than the entire FaZe team has at this point, but now, Jerd trying to make the plays, they're doing the defensive stand yet again. He's got FTL to work with as well. And I mean, hell, you could play keep away if you'd like, but they're just waiting for an opening, and now the toss is going to come out.
Yeah, big Clayster with the double there coming into the middle. Bance, I like this play from him, just kind of getting that map control for the retake, but they have all the power. They can control this game because they are 6-0 in the lead. They don't need to get that drone and start forcing plays. They can just go for kills, and talking of kills, Bance is on a 4-kill streak.
Bance streaking right now, 300 off the Trinity rocket, about to beat 2. Keeps on going forward, drone in the hand of Jerd as he's going to play the escort, an upload through. Jerd finds a kill afterwards. This is getting scary.
Yeah, 1-point play there that we see Splyce take their lead even further. Bance trying to extend it. There is one player still in the back. It's Zero, but he's going to be taken down by Zoomer. That is a good start if you wanted to change the game now, but it's 2 minutes and 20 seconds. FaZe need to do what they haven't been able to do all game, and they need to turn up.
I can't think of a time where you just see a team turn it on. Actually, it was yesterday, LG, they were down 8-0, I think, to FaZe in an uplink, and all of a sudden with 2 minutes left, they score 5. It seems like they're going to come back. It was on Precinct, but they erupted. So that type of stuff can happen, but you've just seen so little impact on the map from FaZe right now. God, I don't know if they have what it takes to win this game.
With the time left, it really is a difficult situation. Bance is very close to camo. Zero close to reactive as well. Mad Cat's close to theirs. He's actually just unlocked it. 3 kills, and what's happened to FaZe right now? Mad Cat's picked up a 3. We've got 3 payloads. Bance about to get his camo. 90 seconds left on the clock, Maven.
I'll tell you what, the cat is loose, going off on defense. How many times, whether it's been an interception, a complete team wipe, is now, I mean, there's going to be more points coming through. This should surely be a dunk as they're going to spawn out the dish forward to Bance, to slam through, outgunning Zuma. Hey, Zuma gets a bullet, and actually, I lied. He was one shot.
Attach does get a double there, but with the 60 seconds left, the drone just keeps getting pushed forward, and right now a 2v3 Attach with the FTL.
All right,
you know, fancy plays.
They don't matter.
And one thing that doesn't matter as well is all these payloads that everyone's got right now, it's not going to even affect the game. The kind of crazy thing to take from this really is Splyce has done all what they have without the payloads. I think for FaZe, this is a map that they just put to the back of their mind. They think about the hard point.
Make some noise right now for Splyce, baby. What a flawless game coming in from them. Bance, are they trying to kill him? Do they realize that he needs to reload?
I am not sure right now. Bance is 25 and 17. Zero, 29 and 17. He's putting up more positive numbers to support that MVP-like tournament. I could say that about 5-10 different people right now, but this game is certainly over. FaZe do get a 2-point play, though.
And this has been just spectacular from Splyce. You get knocked on your butt in game 1. It's an embarrassing loss. You only score, what, 85, 87 points, somewhere around there, and you fire back, you win the search and destroy. You come to play and demolish FaZe. Oh, God, almost able to find all 3 there as Bance, but Splyce continue to rock. High fives around. This has got to make you proud right now, bud.
It certainly does, but I tell you one thing is, the one thing I love more than anything is competitive Call of Duty close games, and that was just a bit of a whitewash. One thing that I know is I know FaZe will not get, ridden over like that on a hard point. They are a very, very strong hard point team. Splyce have not won this series by any means. And you know what? They're all veterans over there.
The problem is we're going to Scorch, which you go 3-0. Splyce their week. They beat everybody. Cloud9, Envy, Mind Freak. They roll through. Then you look at the other side. FaZe, they lost that to the likes of EG. I believe they lost it to Fnatic as well. I mean, it's almost a similar scenario of what we've had. What we talked about 3 through 5. Like everything is against FaZe right now. They've got to muster something up.
Yeah, FaZe, to kind of put a throwback into there as well. FaZe was very close to not even being here. That's the crazy thing. Now they're in a top 3 position, and they're 2-1 down against Splyce. I do think, and I'd like to think that FaZe, that week that they nearly didn't qualify, the interview with Zoomer on the stage, he was like, look, we're putting a lot of time into this, know all the games, we're focused here. They have brought the heat, and Scorch, it's going to be an interesting one, Maven.
Well, I mean, I'm a broken record. I've said it so many times, but it's just this kind of never die mentality from FaZe Clan. Clayster specifically, he'll come back in scenarios he never should. He's come back in 2 best-of-5s, 2 best-of-7s in a grand final, reverse sweep so many times, been down 200 points, it seems like, in a breakout, they somehow come back. I mean, the comeback they had against Rise Nation was absurd on breakout. I know that they are capable of pulling a rabbit out the hat when they need to. It's just unfortunate that it's Scorch.
Yeah, it really is. The amount of times last year that I was sat at home and watched Clayster single-handedly, or whatever team he was on at the time, and whichever teammates or whoever he was playing, should I say, he just kept reverse sweeping European teams. It became almost a bit of a meme. It became a joke. This won't be a reverse sweep. FaZe took down Splyce in that hard point. However, you know, hard point Scorch, Search and Destroy, I believe would be back onto throwback if we got there. This is very tough to call here, but again, you said it.
I don't think it is.
Splyce, everything.
I don't think it is at all. I think this is what the only time I may have said this in my casting career about a European Call of Duty team. But Splyce is playing in championship form. They look like they can win this thing. They look incredible. I love this squad, and I'm telling you what, it ends here. I think it's done on Scorch. I really do. Would I love to see this push to a Game 5 and throwback? Hell yes, I would. You know, as casters, man, we want round 5,
yeah.
Game 11, Game 5, round 11, every single series. But I think it ends here, man. I Splyce is about to beat him up.
I've never heard you be so confident about a European team. You know, and we're going up against FaZe, and that says a lot to me. Maybe I'm just kind of not getting too excited at this point in time, but
I think the only team I really get that way about is Splyce, because you know, ever since this team formed, especially when Zero joined, this is your God squad from here. We all knew what the impact they could make, but they haven't been able to kind of bust through that. But you gotta think about it. They don't have to worry about the likes of E-United, the likes of Optic Gaming, teams they run into tournaments that really give them trouble. I think back to Dallas, where they push Optic the distance, they push Luminosity the distance. They can do it, man. This is a winnable tournament for Splyce, and this will become a European Call of Duty holiday.
It certainly will, and if my mind and my memory serves me right, I think Dallas or Atlanta, one of the two. Splyce actually beat LG as well. You know, they've done it before. I know they are a different team this weekend, but LG, they're not in the question right now. It is FaZe and Splyce. Scorch is not a great map for FaZe, and you know, the guys on the desk, you said it as well, Maven. It was great 2 maps, you know, at the start for FaZe, but those last 3, they looked to favor Splyce, and Splyce has to pinch one of those first 2.
Yeah, I don't think the snakes on Splyce's jerseys are the only ones we're going to be seeing here. They are going to get under, I think, FaZe's skin very, very quickly on this map. But let's see, can FaZe get it done, or will Jerd and crew close it out with a 3-1 victory? Let's kick off the Game 4.
Jerd on your screens, he's going to be that aggressive player, but so is the rest of his squad, and we'll see who kicked things off the strongest. Zero, Clayster, and Enable all jumping in, but it looks FaZe not until Jerd gets into the mix with the double. And closed out by Attach. We are going to see FaZe can take control of the bridge for now.
Yeah, they should. This is the side that you should be able to pick up 35, 40 points when you get this spawned. It's so easy to push teams back with grenades. The question is, can FaZe then push through and get set up for Turbine? And how much can Splyce actually contest here is another question.
It certainly is, and who will get that rotation. That's the key thing about this, is obviously rotating to that second hard point back at Turbine is crucial. We talk about those 30 or 40 points. Splyce, they've taken back the bridge here, and they want some points themselves.
This is huge. This is, I mean, getting this amount of time, but actually holding FaZe and not picking up that much time, and holding the back spawns. But if you take a look at that number 3 on the minimap, it's going to be Attached going around the backside. He's going to have some key gunfights. He's able to win the first, but Mad Cat's there to trade. They're picking up time and also set up for Turbines. You see the spawn come through for Splyce.
Interesting play from FaZe. They're pushing through that observation deck on the right-hand side. There's going to be one player waiting. It's Bance. He's got that E-Rad, and he'll be able to call it out. He does have teammates supporting him as well. This is a great setup for Splyce. However, Zuma, big entry kill there.
Zuma able to find one. Can the 3 remaining players hold on? Zero able to cut down the first with the headshot. Zuma picks it up, but traded out. Zero snapping behind, has to reload. Only 2 bullets in the clip. Finally, he will drop. Clayster with a 2-piece inside to pick it up, but he's the lone man. They're sowing forward. Nate over the top. He's one shot. See you later, Clay. Ooh. Look at this. Look at him staying alive behind it. Finally, he's going to drop. Was it enough time? The team is here, but now they're just going to get shut down. Splyce has it locked down.
You could see what he was trying to do, just wiggle back and forward and not let anyone take him out, but he bided himself a couple of seconds. It wasn't enough, for Splyce will take maybe the remainder of this. They will. You can see FaZe have rotated round to the hangar. And now Splyce, they're pushing out.
And Splyce, you know, they're one of the better turbine holding teams, kind of, I think, in the game. When they get it set up, when they get it locked down, whether it's actually trying to break through or an early rotation, they're absolutely phenomenal. That analysis is courtesy of Patrick Price. Thank you, buddy.
Zuma, he's gunning right now. 2 kills there, finally ended by 0. I think Splyce should have taken him out a little bit sooner. But Bance, he's getting in behind enemy lines. He's seen one, but no, I'm coming up behind you, buddy. And there you go. Bance and 0 combined for the double. And they've taken Hanger like that.
0, we have to hop over to him because he's all going off again. 9 and 4 on a 5 streak, 225 off the Trinity rocket. But finally will be silenced. And, you know, Enable, a guy we've talked about a lot, that there's a lot of pressure on him. He had a very poor week when they were here competing in the regular season. He's been good this weekend, but right now, 1 and 8, an abysmal start. They need him to get going. But with the way Bance, 0, the whole crew playing, this is going to be so tough.
This kill's big, and you know what? That kill could solidify the last 10 seconds. However, FaZe are still pushing for it. You got Zuma in the mix, Bance and Madcap trading things out. Oh, back and forth. This is going to be a fight for the last 5. It's contested right now. Bance, he's got a 5-kill streak. He started 0 and 3. He hasn't died since. He's got a minute on the clock.
That's a huge one-on-one. Screw the scrap time. It's the fact he wins it. He gets the Trinity rocket. He's 25 now off, and you hear Splyce getting loud right now, Momo. They are hyped up, and they know they can gun with this team.
Yeah, and they know they love this drill hard point. They absolutely love it. They can stay alive. They can push them back. Zero's getting hyped on the stage. He's on a 5-kill streak once again. What is he, a 1.4 this weekend? Right now, he's sitting at nearly a 3.0 KD in this hardpoint game alone. He's gunning with the likes of Madcat. You've got to feel for FaZe. They need to turn up right now, Maven.
And on this map, I know in hardpoint in general, streaks are incredible, but here, the fact he has no Scarab, he's got those Scorchers to go with as well. If he gets fully streaked out, you already saw some come in for Bance. This is just going to escalate. 7 streak. 25 now off the Scorchers. 1 more to fight. Get out of my hardpoint attach. 0, 8 streak, 18 and 6. Racking up time in the hardpoint. The man can do no wrong, buddy.
This is the best Call of Duty I've seen Zero play in his whole career, and it's this weekend. What a weekend to do it with so much money on the line. He's found that perfect fit with a perfect squad. And right now, 125-point lead against FaZe Clan of everyone. He is still going. That's an 11-kill streak, Maven.
Oh, the 12th is here, too. Attach finally able to shut him down. But my God, what a tear. They beat them 250 to 80. It's now 160 to 35. My God.
Wow. I mean, you said it was all over right here on Scorch, and I think I was, you know, thinking that FaZe can turn up, FaZe can do this, but you know what? It's just not looking likely.
It really isn't, and it looks like they may have spawns for Turbine as well if they can pick it up. Nope, they both drop 2, come through, but a sneaky spot here from 0, and it doesn't even matter. If they lose this one, they have such a big lead and all these streaks to work with. Fine, go ahead, set up in Turbine. You're gonna get nuked out of it.
The problem with Scorch and obviously the likes of Turbine and Hanger, a lot of the hills sometimes you can just dip into cover. So the likes of Bombardment, the likes of Scorches, and Trinity and things like that, they can be sometimes a little bit useless. We'll have to wait and see, but right now, Clayster and Attach take down 2. 0. He's just trying to do everything alone. He's in the hard point, a 1v3 right now.
And I was gonna say, if he still wins that gunfight caught mid-reload, it would have been nasty, but Clay is able to pick up 2. Maybe slow the bleeding for a moment. You pick up some time, but they want to call on this streak. So Trinity Rockets from above, able to pick up 1, push them out of the hard point. There's 1 just hiding underneath, trying to free fire, and his teammates coming through. Madcap finds a kill.
Perfect play from Bance there, and what I loved is he hovered that Trinity Rocket. What that did was basically send all of FaZe inside, and then 3 players took on just 1 in the hard point. They outnumbered. They did get control, but FaZe have bidden back straight away. That 125 lead, now 100. Can FaZe do this?
I mean, can they? We've seen them perform some of the most miraculous comebacks. The big thing is these streaks. So Attach, I didn't realize he had a Trinity, but that ends up coming up huge. Now you see Clay on a 5 streak, Attach also on a 4 streak. If they can get some of these crucial streaks, that's exactly how the comeback happens. But you got to keep going. Attach just dropped, so it's going to end there. Clayster, the lone man working on these, and Splyce set up beautifully for Hanger.
Yeah, Clayster's quite a while away as well. It's going to be another 10-15 points to Splyce before he even gets there. A Scarab's lurking around as man number 5 for Splyce. They are looking like a team that cannot be beaten. Jerd with a double. We're going to see 0 add to the mix as well. He's got full streaks. They're going to hit 200, Maven. There's still 35 seconds left on this hill.
0 is 27 and 11. 12, I'm sorry, he just died, but it's been absolutely nuts what he's been able to do. Every kill, it seems like he's screaming at the opposition. He is so filled with confidence right now. it is a real treat for us to watch.
This is ridiculous. He's got the same amount of kills as any other of his two teammates combined. And he is literally dragging Splyce through it right now. Mad Cat and Zuma are going to trade this, but we're going back to the drill, and this is where Splyce could end it.
Oh, I believe they will. Unless you got any streaks left for the side of FaZe Clan, which I don't think you do, this should be where they are able to shut it down. Attach looking mid-map. He got tagged up. We'll see if Mad Cat can finish that, but Zero's going to call in some of these streaks as he starts to push forward. First one, gone. Second one, gone. Zero just beaming on everyone right now. The only thing that can kill him is streaks. It's been Attach or a streak from the opposition that takes him out. Play, thankfully, got that Trinity rocket. I just don't know that's going to matter because Scorcher's flying in now.
Yeah, Zero's got Scorchers. That's going to take down Attach and put them back into the observation deck. Zero has got his reactive armor. Does he need it? Probably not right now. However, that 100-point lead, now 110. They're just 20 points away from finding themselves in the grand final, Maven. 31-50, and this kid is on fire.
And we'll see if he decides to pop the reactive here. He doesn't. He's shut down, but still the backup is there. Bance finds two before Zuma able to pick it up. 10 seconds to trickle off the clock. Mad Cat wants to take this one-on-one, see if he can at least contest or pick up a few seconds. They're playing ring around the rosy, but still 16 points away. If you are Splyce, can they end it on bridge?
They can, and I think the wise thing and the really clever thing that Zero's doing now, he's saving that reactive armor just in case. Does he need it? Probably not. There's 6 points left, Maven. They're counting it down. It's done.
Splyce are going to be going to the grand final as soon as they pick up one more tick. I know, FaZe, you hold on. You've had these crazy comebacks. I just don't know about it here. You got to think, man, the pressure on Splyce to come into this, the lone European team. I know they say they don't feel it, but there's got to be part of them that feels that pressure. If Zero can win a couple of gunfights, this might cement them into the top two. What
everything.
Unreal performance.
I can't believe we're still talking of this game. I mean, FaZe have actually hung in there just for a second.
I was ready to call it 90 seconds ago.
Jerd's just going to transfer a little bit there, but no. Enable takes him down, and we're going to go to the hangar. 105 points. So let's FaZe need.
So if they got a perfect turbine hold, you've expensed the streaks from Splyce, you need a perfect hangar hold. I can't believe I'm even talking about this at this point, but if you were perfect, you could do it. Bance, sorry, soars in, there's the tick. Splyce will make it to your grand final. Zero wants you on your feet. What a goddamn monster he has been.
Zero is like no other right now. And you know what? I spoke to Zero before this weekend. And you know what? He was annoyed he didn't make the All-Star game. He was annoyed. He was like, Bance got it? And I think he's proven a point right now this weekend. Bance will be playing in that All-Star game, but Zero definitely has been the man of the moment. He has been phenomenal all weekend long. And you know what? He's got himself a grand final position at the moment. That's top 2 for him.
Well, you're front runners right now. If you're talking about MVP for this weekend, you got Octane on LG. Hey, you're taking a look at Zero there from Splyce, and then for FaZe, I have a couple guys I'm thinking about, but Clay, Zuma. I mean, it depends who takes the event, but oh god, it's hard to think about FaZe winning after Splyce just railed them.
I mean, FaZe are out, but it's okay.
Oh yeah, after.
It's okay. But for me, it's Zero and Octane. You know, these two guys have been putting ridiculous numbers up. You know, we're talking numbers which we've not seen them put up for years individually, but Splyce. Luminosity, man.
Just with how good LG was, and now we see the fire that was Splyce.
What am I talking?
This is so yeah. I was thinking we have more to go, but we do have Bance there with Chris Puckett on the stage.
Championship Sunday, and we know Splyce are going to another grand finals. We saw it at the end of Black Ops 3 when your European team came over and pulled off the miracle tournament there. This weekend, you are playing for this trophy and $200,000. And I was talking with TP backstage. He said the EUNA rivalry, it goes all the way back to MW2. And the highest placing we've ever seen from a European team before Splyce was 3rd from TCM on American soil. You've now got at least guaranteed 2nd place. How do you get it done, Bance? How did you form this team, and why are you guys clicking so well and matching up well against North Americans?
Pretty much when we first made this roster with Josh, it was more or less 3 Slayers, and then Josh can go off at any time and just do the objective role, sort of like a leader role, but then obviously he wanted to go elsewhere. So the one thing we were lacking when we were with Josh was our hard point, which was surprising with Jerd and Dylan. So we've picked up another Slayer. Trey just goes off every map, and then just worked on our chemistry throughout the whole time of teaming. Now it's got to this point.
Now, you used to be a Monster Slayer in yourself. It didn't seem that there was any kills for you to pick up on that final hard point, but talk to me about your gameplay. Have you had to change up your role at all? What has it been like since adding Zero? Because you guys are definitely playing with tons of firepower across all 4 players.
My role's still pretty much the same. It's just pretty much I'm the king beta for Trey now. I'm the first person to go in. It's more or less everyone just doing every single role. And it's kind of hard to get kills when you got Trey dropping numbers, you got Dylan dropping numbers, and also Jared. So I'm just getting the little easy kills.
Doing everything you need to get the wins. Now, last question here. I have to ask you about the bracket. When you guys saw who you'd be playing, did you ever imagine you would be playing here in a finals match on Championship Sunday for $200,000?
Yeah, I knew we had the talent to do so. It was just when it was going to come into action, we obviously fell short a couple of times, so we deserved some sort of luck, and the bracket obviously went the way it did, but I predicted E6 to beat E United. I predicted LG to beat Optic, so it was expected.
You saw it coming, so you guys will be playing in the championship match. Do you want to play FaZe or Luminosity?
LG, so we can beat another team.
We'll see how it all plays out. The loser bracket finals is coming up next. For now, give it up for Bance. Splyce is heading to our championship match. Take it away, Benson.
Oh, Bance just firing some shots right there. You want to beat them all, man.
Love it. I like it. I like it. That's what you got to do.
Absolutely. Splyce booked their ticket to the grand final. First time we have a European team in a grand final since obviously last year's COD champs. And boy, oh boy, what a performance that has been from Splyce. Not just that last series, but the weekend as a whole.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is what we talked about. I mean, especially myself. I'm going to give my...
All right. Pat yourself on the back. Pat yourself on the back.
I knew that they had the talent, and it just took time. It obviously took some time to develop over stage 1. Even some of the open events earlier in the year, we saw at Dallas what they were capable of doing. So I knew it. It was just took time. They are all 4 talented players. Again, this is the best European roster ever put together.
Well, I think it's pretty hard to argue against that, to be frank. We will break down that series, though, of course. Splyce will take the victory 3-1 over FaZe Clan. But it didn't start off well for Splyce at all. That map number 1, 250 to 83. Proof, as a player, how do you recover from a loss like that?
Well, you do exactly what Bance did, just getting massive first bloods for your team in the search and destroy and just stepping everything up. But after that, you just got to talk about it. Like, that game's over. There's nothing we can do to bring that back. Let's just go to the search. Let's try to get a map, go 1-1, and go from there. Forget the score. The score should never be in your head anyways when you're playing. A loss is a loss, a win is a win.
For me, they came into this series thinking this series doesn't even start until game 2, right? We know it's FaZe's best hard point. They probably thought they were going to lose that one. FaZe is unstoppable on breakout, so kudos to them for that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it really bothered them that much. They knew what maps 2, 3, 4, and even 5 was if it went there. I think they had a safety net.
I mean, even off the start, FaZe started really strong on the first HP. Then I saw Splyce win rotation. They had control. And next, you know, FaZe breaks it. Attach and Zuma just going off the entire time.
And when you have 0.8 as your best KD, I mean, you just sort of know, all right, we just have to step it up, right? Maybe that was just a warm-up game. Sometimes you just start off slow, and obviously FaZe didn't. It was a great breakout hardpoint by them. You know, 59-8 on that first hill, 76-0 on that 4th commissary hill. Yeah. A beautiful breakout hardpoint. If you want to learn how to play that map, watch FaZe.
You definitely should. Clay getting pumped up on the main stage.
I love
well, he gets very, very loud. It's pretty scary.
A little too loud.
You that.
But what's scary is Zero gets just as loud.
Zero was even louder, I think, towards the end of that series. But looking at the search and destroy, obviously map number 2, it goes 6-4 in favor of Splyce. And Proof, I know you were noting down the first bloods.
Yeah, Splyce had 8 first bloods compared to FaZe's 2. Bance got 4 of them, and Jared got 3 of those, leaving Mad Cat with the last one. But when you have that many first bloods on a team, you shouldn't lose a search. If you could play your numbers, back up, regroup, and then trade out, you'll be good.
And at this point, we just saw it was 4-2. I mean, FaZe looked like they were going to run away with it, but Splyce, they made the sort of changes they needed. And FaZe, they were doing a little different on defense. As you can see, they pushed in this bite shot very often. Splyce was like, okay, let's give this up. Let's play it in a hallway in that A-bomb site. Just doing a great job. Again, when they get in these 1v2 situations like this, Splyce, they don't lose them.
For me, the biggest change they made was Jurge slowed down, right? In those early rounds when FaZe took the lead, I think those 2 first bloods he got early on were rounds that he just got a kill and died right away. And they lost those rounds, which is what we were talking about. Jurge is sometimes too fast. He slowed it down, and Splyce regrouped.
And even after that 1v2 by Enable, I thought FaZe might have got momentum off of that round and would probably take the search, but, you know, Splyce answers back. Bance gets another first blood to stop that momentum, so good plays by him.
Fantastic search and destroy coming in from Splyce. Of course, they take it 6-4. Bance with a 2.75 because 11-4. A great performance from him. Then, of course, moving forward, we go over to the uplink on Throwback as a map number 3. And it was just a Splyce masterclass, to be honest.
just from the start. I mean, right off the bat, they put up 3 quick points and just full map control. Very similar to what we saw in the last series with Luminosity and Opti, just fighting for that map control. Splyce, what I love what they do is they're actually one of the few teams that just holds on to this drone. Waste time. They try to get FaZe to move towards them. As soon as Zero or whoever has that drone sees it, they just reset it. FaZe then has to rotate around the map, where Splyce already has that position.
Yeah, Madcat started strong, like you said. He was 6-1. He was able to get another point after that. I feel like Splyce is that type of team. When they have a lead in uplink, it's very hard to take that from them. They play so well with the drone that it's really hard to figure out where they're going with it. They're making plays together and playing beautifully.
One of the same things that we saw FaZe fall to on Fnatic was the defense, right? Like Splyce intercepted, shut down so many pushes. They stopped them at every time in their base. I just feel like they're too aggressive and they're too good on the back end. FaZe couldn't do anything about it.
And one thing to note, Zero, he goes 30 and 18, a 1.67 KD, and I'm pretty sure that's actually going to be close to what his event KD is looking like as well. But he is just. We should change the All-Star. We should change it. He needs to be in. Can we do that? Can we get a substitution?
We need to. I don't think so. But
damn it.
I mean, yeah, he's just having a great event. I mean, and I'm really excited. If Luminosity gets that final, it's going to be a heck of a battle between Zero and Octane.
Definitely will.
For me, he has a 1.5, 1.6.
That's insane.
In an 18 double elimination bracket. Like,
the best teams in the world.
I've never seen that in my life. That's the highest overall KD I've ever seen.
That's been a lot of
I mean, we used to like KDs at like COD champs.
1.3 is like absurd.
Yeah, like 1.2, that's like a great event by formal scupper. You know, even back in the day, like 1.5.
It's hard to do. It's hard to do. He's making it look easy.
He's making it look
There's
easy,
something
though.
wrong with the stats. It's not right.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
He is honestly playing that well, and then guess what? You head over to a map number 4, and he didn't did it again. Down. He just did it again. He spawns in. He's like, oh, by the way, guys, in case you didn't know, I'm kind of the GOAT. 38 and 20 he finished.
12 kill streak, right? I believe.
A lot of kill streak.
Like, FaZe could not answer him that entire map.
Yeah.
And I don't know who you even look at to answer him. Zero does it with the MV4, does it with the K-Bar, can do it with the E-Rad. He's another player that we talk about that is capable with any weapon. How do you answer that?
Universal. My man's is universal.
And I just want to give some love to Jerd and Madcat. I feel like these are two guys. They're veterans, right? They've been in these situations before. They make Zero's job a lot easier, right? So shout out to those guys. I know we don't always give them a ton of love, but these two have been around forever. When you talk about most decorated European players, you say Jerd and Madcat. So they find themselves, you know, in another final. It's just great to see.
Exactly. They took on the roles of the leader on this team, and they're allowing Zero to do his thing. They're like, just slay, we'll handle everything else, we'll direct, and we'll get these Ws.
Yeah, and they're getting those Ws.
Just slay, Zero, just slay.
Making it look easy. 250 to 154.
1.9. Oh my God. That's ridiculous. I'm sorry for laughing. It's just unbelievable. I feel like I'm being
in the uplink before, like.
How do you stop that? What do you do?
You unplug his controller.
Unplug his controller. I feel like that's what you got to do, right?
Just give up.
Hope his paddle breaks. I don't know.
Give up. Go home.
I don't know. Like you have to make his life a little bit crazier. Maybe pull out more jammers, more nades. You have to do something. Just slow the game down. I think the biggest thing is you have to win rotations.
Right.
FaZe was winning rotations, but they were losing those first gunfights because if you're able to win a rotation, you make him challenge gunfights that are more difficult and sort of create that.
Right.
Yeah.
Obviously, up next we do have FaZe LG. Just assume, let's just play kind of devil's advocate here. LG wins.
Of course.
Can Octane, can he shut down Zero on his
Oh, yeah.
I think?
Yes. Again, the biggest thing is
that would be so fun to win.
I don't know if he can shut down Zero. I think he can help. I don't know if he can shut down. Zero has by far played better than Octane so far this event. But the thing is, like, they don't really play the same role. Yeah, we do see Zero using MV4 here, but Zero plays much more aggressive than Sam does.
Right.
I don't know if he will specifically shut him down one-on-one. He's gonna need some help.
One thing's for sure, that is gonna be extremely fun to watch if it does happen.
If we see
Don't say the ifs. We already predicted it.
Come on, man. I'm a FaZe up guy right now. You can't be saying that right now.
They're great.
You're hurting my feelings.
But have you seen LG?
LG,
but they lost yesterday.
So we'll see.
Hey.
We will see. Still plenty of action here on Championship Sunday, and we are loving every second of it. And of course, we should mention here as well, COD Champs coming up at the end of the year. Of course, through that, at least you can get your tickets on sale now. MLG.tv/CWL Champs. Going to Orlando, Florida, August 9th to August 13th. But we're halfway through Championship Sunday, and we now have Splyce confirmed to be in our Call of Duty Global Pro League Stage 1 Playoff Grand Final. Only one question now remains. Who will join them? The on-fire LG, led by Octane, take on FaZe after their last loss. Only one team can progress through. Find out who after this. Woo!